Hey everybody! Today I'm going to do a kind of random video. I was asked a question on Instagram and I figured I'd answer it. It's not going to be a Walt Disney Wednesday, as I think it would benefit the person that asked the question to hear it sooner than later. So yeah, I've been kind of thinking of going this route anyways. In all honesty, you know, everyone out there is doing like their cleaning routines or their this routine or their that routine, and you know, I've always kind of like showed you guys like I gotta do this and this and this today. Oh look, this and this and this is done. Here's the kids a little bit. Bam, that's the end of our day. And I don't feel that I can talk about my morning routine 17 times. I just don't. My morning routine is what it is. It doesn't really change. That's it. You know, it changes maybe a little bit in the summer and then a little bit when the kids go back to school, but over and all, it's the same thing. My grocery hauls. If I were to do grocery hauls or anything like that, it's typically the same crap over and over and over again. So do people really care to watch that? You know what I mean? And like budget videos, I don't mind posting those. Well, I used to not mind posting those, but I feel that your budget and your finances and everything can change so much so quickly, and everyone lives totally different. You know what, if someone makes $50,000 a year, that may be like, holy crap, that's a ton of money. And then some people might be like, oh my God, you're like welfare broke. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's all in the eye of the beholder. But I've been really loving sharing Disney tips, Disney advice, Disney planning, Disney vlogs, all things Disney. I mean, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that we've truly just fallen in love with Disney, and it consumes a big part of our life. And, you know, I love the fact that on a Disney video, I get so much interaction with my subscribers or non-subscribers, but people are just chatting in the comments and asking me questions and asking me for help and, you know, all of that. And so I've truly been thinking of almost putting my channel to a more Disney theme focus with a few like day in the life type things, a random haul here and there channel more so, and you know, still do the things that I love like organized Christmas and Vlogidays, but just like if you're going to see a video from me, it's either going to be like a Disney theme video, a Christmas theme video, or a possible here and there vlog. But if it's going to be a sit-down informative video, it's probably going to be about Disney. So I don't know what people think about that, but that was kind of like a long-winded intro / rant. But anyways, alyssamhickey asked me on Instagram, can you make a Disney video on YouTube? We're going in a month and we would love some park tips. She says, love you and your family. That's just very nice. And I asked her, you know, give me a topic and I'll do it. So she said, maybe the best way to navigate the parks, when we should get there, etc. So for me, we have not ever arrived at a park. Oh, no, one time. Typically, on average, we arrive at the parks anywhere between like 20 minutes of them opening and let's say about an hour-ish past them opening. One time we arrived at like 12 or 1 because we had a 10:40 breakfast reservation at Ohana. I will say, since we've been like messing around, you know, with all of that, we truly feel that getting there at rope drop is like worth its weight in gold. You know, we used to be the people that were, I mean, we pretty much stay at a park all day anyways, but like we're seeing the benefits of why people go early or go late, like, and then either kind of mellow out in the middle of the day or, you know, whatever. We just think that if you can get there at rope drop, and when I'm saying rope drop, so let's say that the park opens at 9. The park is really probably going to let you in closer to 8:45. So we always say if you're going to do a rope drop, get there 30 minutes prior to the park opening. Which means if you're on a Disney property, I would say like in December, we left our hotel room at like 7:45 to get there for 8:45 because it was a 9 o'clock opening, if that makes any sense. And like know what you're going to do beforehand. So basically, if you're going to go to Magic Kingdom, you're probably going to run to Big Thunder, maybe Splash. I wouldn't want to get that wet in the morning. Space Mountain or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Everyone is going to be running to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Everyone is going to be running to Anna and Elsa. For me, not my circus, not my monkeys. I want no part of it. I'll get a fast pass for it. I personally think that you should either run to Big Thunder, but a lot of people do this, and I'll tell you why in a minute, or Space. A lot of people want to run to Big Thunder because a lot of people want to go to Space Mountain and Tomorrowland at the end of the day, because at nighttime Tomorrowland just looks really, really cool. What I would suggest is to get your fast passes for things you want. I'm going to assume that Seven Dwarfs is one of them. Get it. And then I would, get it for something like Big Thunder or something like that. And then, one other, whatever you want. And I would run straight to Space Mountain. Me and my husband did Space Mountain 2 to 3 times back to back to back, like walked straight on. And then we went over to Buzz Lightyear. And then we did the Cars. And then we did Astro Orbiter, and then we went and ate breakfast, and it wasn't even 10 o'clock yet before we had breakfast. Like, we got all that done in an hour. In the morning, typically you're going to see the kiddie rides, so like Dumbo will have a long wait. Winnie the Pooh will get a long wait. All those super young kid-friendly rides are going to get a long wait because all the young kids are up at the butt crack of dawn, and they're, in the parks, and that's where they're going to. So it may be worth your time those first 2 hours to kind of do like the big stuff, because the lines are going to be next to nothing, I think. So we would typically like do like the Tomorrowland, and then we would come back to Main Street and we would get I would get Starbucks and my husband would get like a bounty platter somewhere. And then we would cut across and go over to Adventureland. In the morning, Adventureland is hit or miss. Either it's like jam-packed with people because that's one of the first places they go, or it's pretty quiet. So pull out your app, just kind of check wait times. And, we would just kind of generally stick in that area. If Tomorrowland or if Adventureland was too busy, then we would go up to Frontierland, Haunted Mansion area, do that type of stuff. And then around like 11-ish, 2 to 3 hours after the park opens is when we start our fast passes. And we do our fast passes back to back to back. So like 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. We get all of our fast passes done, and then around 2 we have lunch. We have like a later lunch. Where we had breakfast probably around 10. That's a good time. And if we do get hungry, we just stop and grab a snack somewhere. And then have our lunch in that like time when everyone's running to find a spot for the parade and sitting at the parade. So eat your lunch. The restaurants will be a little bit less busy, and then take full advantage of it being 3 o'clock and everyone is on the parade route. So we go to Fantasyland, and we try to get as much done in Fantasyland as we can, just paying attention to our app, trying to maximize our time, making sure that we're not zigzagging, because the last thing you want to do is like kill your legs, So that's kind of how we do a typical day. And I mean, you can figure that out for every park. If you're going to do Epcot at Rope Drop, you would want to run to Test Track or Soarin'. Soarin's obviously down for a while, so you're going to want to run to Test Track. And I would still get a fast pass for it because that ride's awesome. Animal Kingdom, you're going to run to Everest. And I've seen people for the first hour just ride Everest back to back to back to back. So Everest will be one, the safaris will be one, and that one's kind of cool because then you can see the animals like when they're a little bit more lively, either during the day or during the night. Maybe dinosaur and things like that. But, I guess my biggest tip of advice is figure out what you're going to do, make a game plan for it, and make your game plan so that you're going in, a circle or a square, so you're not like going like this, because you're just going to tire yourself out. Normally, we do the park until like, super late. But, you could totally like leave around 3, take a little bit of a break, take a nap, even if you just go hang out at the pool and just sit on the chairs or whatever, and then go back later on, those last like 2 to 3 hours, it starts to get really quiet again. But from like 12 to like 5, the parks are just nuts. Be prepared to wait. It happens. And then typically, like, if it's like a rainy season, that's when the storm happens too. So, we're morning people, so we prefer to get up early and do it that way. And be prepared to kind of slow our pace in the middle of the day have a long lunch, people watch, whatever, and then, you know, either go back to our resort early, or if we're not going to do our resort early, then, you know, we'll stay later and maybe even get there later. I think that doing ADRs and food in the morning is just a waste of really good park time. If you want to do an ADR, when we did breakfast, we would always do them at like 10:40, something like that, because sometimes you can get breakfast and lunch foods, and you're kind of getting in that like really busy park time, so you're skipping that. You're kind of cooling off and, you know, like refreshing yourself after a couple hours in the park so that you can do a couple more hours in the park. You know, that's just what worked for us. So there's, I think that's everything she asked me. Yeah, so there's when you should get there. You know, if you do want to do the nighttime stuff, then, you know, maybe get there at like 11 or 12. Be prepared to have some really long wait times when you first get there, and then, you know, maybe schedule all your fast passes like right when you plan on getting there, and then it'll kind of die down a little bit when you have dinner, and then, you know, stay for the nighttime stuff. But we found that first 2 to 3 hours and the last like 2 to 3 hours, especially if you have like a midnight or 1 a.m. closing, it gets so quiet and it's worth it to just kill a bunch of stuff off. So, you know, don't get worried that it's like 12 o'clock and you've only done a few things, because you will maximize your time when you're there. And, you know, our kids normally go to bed every night at 8 o'clock. Every night on the dot, they're in bed at 8 o'clock. Every morning, they're up at like 6:30. When we're in Disney, after the first day, they start to sleep a little bit later in the morning until like right when we get up, and they hang all night. They can do it, and they just crash and burn whenever, you know, we're there. We call it Disney tired. They just pass out, and, you know, when we all get back, yeah, we're tired, but we've all had like an amazing vacation and done everything we want to do. And, you know, don't plan on seeing everything. Don't plan on doing everything, because it's not going to happen. It's just not. That's why we go back and we still haven't done everything that we wanted to do. But I would say, you know, like pick like your top 5 that you want to do every day. Make sure 3 of those are fast passes, and just, you know, make sure you get those done first. Make sure you get your meals done, and, you know, you'll be good to go. If you're on the dining plan, like the first time we went, we had the table service plan, and we like totally spaced on, we should plan our quick service meals. So like we didn't really plan those out that well. We spent a lot of time like hemming and hawing. I am that person where I know pretty much every ride that we're doing, every show that we're doing, what we're eating, what our snacks are. I have that down pat every single day. When I'm packed, every single thing is in a bag. So it says like Monday, February 1st. Like the night before, I lay everyone's clothes out so they're somewhat not wrinkled. And everyone just gets up in the morning, they get their clothes on, they brush their teeth, they start having like a bar or something like that and a juice, and then we are out the door. It's like that. You know, I get up in the morning earliest and I get ready, and me getting ready kind of wakes everybody up. Everyone slowly gets ready and we are good to go. Make sure that your park bag is packed from the night, you know, like pack it the night before. Being prepared, planning everything out. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it, for me, makes my vacation that much better, especially if you have kids like mine, where I have a couple kids that need picture graphs and things like that. Like we tell Casey, this is what we're doing today, this is where we're going to be today, this is what we're going to ride today, this is who we're going to see today, this is what we're going to eat today, and it makes his mind and everything much, much better. I'll also say, if you pull into a park, I'm not sure if you have kids or not, but if you pull into a park and your kids are breaking down, Casey breaks down every single park entrance. We don't know what it is. Something about park entrances, just, it makes him break down. It does. Typically, we get through the chaos and we cover his sunshade down. He sits in there and kind of like, you know, works himself up. We pull off to a corner. I take care of him. Jeff will typically go ride a ride. They'll typically see me, give me a rider swap, and Casey and I will just sit there and just kind of down, get him calm, and then he's normally ready to go. If your kid's crying, screaming, yelling, take them home if it's too late, if they can't handle it anymore. If they want an ice cream, give them an ice cream. If they've been going and going and going and they're breaking down, get down on their level and just sit down. And, you know, sometimes letting your kid run through the Casey's little splash pad area, letting your kid run in the little Epcot area right before the Worlds, sometimes that does them just a world of good. Like, we see it all the time of the families that just have that kid that's just screaming, the mom's yelling, the dad's yelling at the mom. Like, it's just like, that's not a fun vacation. And we've been there, everyone's done it, but we just try to like be like, okay, someone's breaking down, let's find out why, and let's get to the bottom of it, and then we can move on with our day. If you don't get to do something, it's not that big of a deal. If you're running a few minutes late, they're gonna let you in for your fast pass. You have a short window to get there. Same thing with, food reservations. You have a short window to get there. It's not worth ruining your vacation and everyone else's vacation by being just, anger. You know what I mean? Like, just don't do it. So hopefully that answered your question. Sorry for the long-winded, rant topic video, but thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this video, and definitely give me some feedback on what I asked or what I talked about in the beginning of this video. So thanks for watching.